The new McCrispy Strip is here. Dip approved by ketchup, tangy barbecue, honey mustard, Sprite, McFlurry, Big Mac sauce, double dipped in buffalo and ranch, more ranch, and creamy chili McCrispy Strip Dip. Now at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Sometimes we're forced to go into situations completely blind. But how many hours would you be willing to wait in line and not know exactly what you're buying? This brand has mastered the art of selling you a mystery. And in 15 years, it has become one of the biggest toy retailers that you've probably never heard of. Blurring the line between toy and art, their products have become a must-have fashion accessory for the likes of Rihanna, Kim Kardashian, Simone Biles, and Hailey Bieber. But it was one organic social media post that took everything to the next level and has everyone searching everywhere for a little monster with a lot of pointy teeth. With revenues of $1.8 billion last year, some say they are riding the wave, while others say they are making it. And that's why this week's On Brand is on Pop Mart and Labubu.
We're all jazzed up, nearly having a cow. You want your favorite show, and it's on right now. It's on brand.
Welcome to On Brand with Jon and Marisa.
Hi, I'm Jon.
Hi, I'm Marisa. Wow.
Here we are, okay.
It was only a matter of time. There's two people in this world. There's Labubus and Lafufus, people who do not know who Labubu is.
And there's also Lafufus, which you will learn about later. Yeah, Labubu, baby. Here we are. We've got our finger on the pulse. We're not just old people doing Band-Aid and MySpace.
Have we done Band-Aid?
I honestly...
Dibs.
You can have it. Did you do Vicks Vape? My dad always wants me to do Vicks Vapo Rub.
Throw him a bone.
I know.
Throw daddy a bone.
So yeah, Pop Mart. This is one that I feel like I haven't done. I have made the Insta egg, but I already know next Wednesday that everyone's going to be like, Pop Mart? What is that?
Knowing Labubu, which I only lightly know. I know Labubu as, for some reason, like 4 moms I know are like dealing Labubus via their Instagram stories.
I believe it.
Like they post like screen captures a bunch of them with like 6 X'd out and it's like these ones left going quick. And I'm like, why are moms becoming Labubu traders?
I have never seen, that is why I'm doing this show, because out of nowhere, my TikTok a few months ago became all unboxing videos of Labubus. Like so many Labubus. And I'll watch them all. I'm like, well, let's see which one they get. I know all the colors. I know the names. There's so many Labubus. And I was like, wow, this thing took off so fast. I now know it is like the story of a stand-up comedian. It is not it's one of those things that has taken 15 years to become an overnight sensation.
Yes.
But now it is like everywhere. And I'm sure everyone's TikToks are different. A lot of people are probably like, I've never seen it in my TikTok. Mention it once, you're good. Everyone now, I feel like it's like Jellycat. But I feel like half of our audience didn't know what Jellycat was. And
or they thought they didn't know what Jellycat was. They thought they didn't know.
And now everyone's like, I saw Jellycat. I bought a Jellycat. Jellycat. This is kind of like China's Jellycat, but like cool. I mean, whatever. I don't have to compare them. It's like more like artier and it's like, it's not. They're cool, though. It's like a cool toy.
Do you?
I own none. Okay. And I don't have any for us to open. I did go to Pop Mart this week. There's one in Glendale Galleria, which is very close to us. And I was like, we'll get to it. You almost can't even buy them. Like it's such a process to get one at this point because they're so popular. There's 2 that I wouldn't mind having. They're $40 each, and they're this big. I was like, I can't.
And also, what is it? Well, is it like it's not like a little stuffy. It's like a keychain. It's like a...
If you could see my notes.
Troll doll. What is it?
Like the 3rd bullet point is, what is Labubu? But it's basically...
It's a little monster guy, right?
Yeah, we'll get all into it. It's a little monster guy. I'm getting ahead of
myself.
I like to compare them to, it's like a modern day take on a Monchichi, but a lot of people may not know what a Monchichi is.
This is okay. If you didn't know what Labubu was, your ears perked up at the mention of Monchichi because you are either pre or post Monchichi, pre or post Labubu. Though you figure it out.
Exactly.
People are like, oh, Monchichi, now I get it.
Yeah, it's like Monchichi walked into the forest at the end of the 80s when we were done with it and has now come back out
been
as
there ever
Labubu.
since.
Like, now I'm Labubu.
My teeth are razor sharp.
Yeah, I mean, but they're cute, and I feel like it's almost in the vein of Cabbage Patch and
Beanie Babies. Sure.
It'll be interesting to see. I mean, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see the longevity they have.
It is so strange. Who could predict what is going to be the thing that pops?
I don't know. Pop Mart.
Wow. They
Pop
can
Mart.
tell. They made a whole mark for it.
They have a whole mart.
Yeah, that's like it doesn't like if I saw like a barrel of them at TJ Maxx, I wouldn't be like, this is the hot new thing.
I mean, they are cute. There is something about them that they're
lots of
like
things are
mischievous and they're cute and they're on that border of like, I hate Funko Pops, which I mentioned before, and I forget if I apologized to my friend Spencer because when I said I hated.
I think you did.
Okay,
yeah.
Good. I was like, Spencer loves them and collects them, and then he wrote me and he's like, those are all gifts. I don't love them. I was like, sorry,
Please
Spencer.
do not public. That's like slander
I know.
to accuse somebody of being a Funko Pop enthusiast, unless you own it proudly. Which maybe there are some of our listeners. If you like Funko Pop, honestly, defend yourself.
Yeah.
Like, sell me on it.
Yeah, sell me on it. If you have made one, you can go to Hollywood and I think have one made that looks like
God.
you.
Oh.
Remember when you had that Lego made of me that looked nothing like me and I had like Betty White hair? I still
They
have
had
that.
like 2 hair options, and then you went and stole.
I shoplifted
update.
a new hair.
Yeah, I think that's fair game.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. But before we get to that, I forgot. I need everyone to pull over.
Okay.
Pull
Whoa.
over.
Gird your loins, as Stanley Tucci said.
Curd
Curd?
your loins.
Curd your yogurt.
Something happened this week
What?
that I never
What?
expected to happen. This was first brought to my attention from Angel Beagle or Beigel,
Bagel?
Sorry, Bagel, Beigel. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. I'll just say it. Skyline Chili's coming to the West Coast.
What do you mean?
Not the restaurants, but the cans are coming to the West Coast. They've already been spotted in Ralph's. I've checked the Ralph's app. I've written Skyline to confirm this. By July, there's like 5 grocery store chains that will now be selling Skyline Chili.
Oh my
That is
God.
why I'm wearing this shirt today.
Your carry-on is about to get 10 pounds lighter.
That's exactly everyone that I tell this to is like, my carry-on is thanking me.
All I'm
my
hearing
check
is
bag.
more room for ribs.
Now I can get beef ribs. I don't just need pork. Oh, I can't wait. So yes,
Oh my
that
gosh,
was like
how exciting.
it's crazy.
So you can have Skyline. I mean, do you even need to go home anymore?
That's what I told my
You
niece.
said you were going to
I was like, I don't even
Ohio?
have to come home anymore. She's like, wow. Wow. Thank you.
You can have Skyline. It's a mile away.
It's a mile away.
Unbelievable. Have you checked it out in person? Have you confirmed?
I
or
haven't.
you've
I
seen
just
it?
found this out 2 days ago. It says that they have it at the Ralph's I go to, which is in Glendale, in a basement. It's the weirdest Ralph's. It's like underneath Michael's. I don't know if you've ever been to that one.
Yes.
It's like you have to go in a basement.
This is so LA. Like, okay, I feel like LA is you have to get parking validated to go to the grocery store. That's
Yeah.
like an LA thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to take an escalator to go to a grocery store, which is there anything more depressing?
I hate it so much.
Yeah,
There's so many
same.
things I hate. Some of the Ralphs are rough.
Yeah.
Ralph's, if you don't know, is owned by Kroger. If you're on one side of the country, I'm sure your Kroger's, will do it. I actually bought a book on the history of Kroger when I was home last,
That's fun.
assuming I will do it at some
Grocery
point.
stores range so wildly. Like there's like for Ralph's, there'll be like a really nice Ralph's, and then you go like a mile over, and it's like there's a Ralph's that's like The Walking Dead.
Hollywood and Western, I saw a man urinating outside of the bathroom inside the Ralph's. It is the most disgusting Ralph's in the world. Then you go to Ralph's in Sherman Oaks, and it's
Stunning,
like
gorgeous.
fresh fare. It's like wood paneling,
Sure.
like imported cheeses.
Yes.
It's like what is
There
going
was also
on?
a thing that happened. There were a couple grocery stores that turned over when I was like in high school, where grocery stores wanted to kind of like change the whole atmosphere. So when you think of a regular grocery store, it's like that really harsh, like fluorescent lighting and just like the, I don't know, kind of almost like utilitarian vessels for like the produce. They wanted to kind of make it feel more, so like the lighting kind of changed. They tried to lower the like super bright fluorescence and try to kind of like create a little mood lighting.
Yeah.
And like fake wood panel all the like tubs of peaches. So you might be tricked into thinking you were strolling a farmer's market in Gay Paris. And so there's some grocery stores where you walk in and you're like, oh my gosh, it's like mood lighting in here.
Yeah.
And then you have the Gelson's in our neighborhood right by you, like a stone's throw away from you, that has a full bar. The shopping
It's
cart.
become like one of the hottest bars in town.
It's the hottest spot in town.
Right after COVID, I think.
Yes. If you're like a 49-year-old widow, that is like where you are spending every night. The shopping carts have a little slot for a wine glass. You can like sip wine while you shop. There's a game on,
That's
like on a TV.
Also a very expensive grocery store. That's where the grocery store that you went to when cotton candy grapes were pretty new to the scene. And you were like, I'm going to get some. Now they seem so old. Like they're everywhere. They're like dusty. You get them at the 99-cent store.
That might be how might be Labubu's fate.
Yeah. But so she buys these cotton candy grapes and then she goes to the cash register and they're like, that'll be $17.40. And she's like, she's not, I would have been like, you know what, I can't.
I was too
I
scared.
would walk
Too
away.
humiliated.
She like pays $17 for these
Well, and they
grapes.
also sold like that
Pink
pineapple, which
I
was
know.
how much?
Like $48.
$48.
Something insane.
And then it just tastes like a regular pineapple.
It's just, I know. I get tricked by things. Trader Joe's has these pink apples. They just taste like apples. They have lemon apples. Taste like apples. Everything just tastes like an apple.
Imagine how much of the world is like starving for like a drop of clean water. And we're like, we made pineapples pink and charged 5 times as much. They taste the same as regular whatever. But you know, it's just fun to see a fruit be pink. Can you blame us? A bit of whimsy in our lunchbox.
I was shocked. I read a whole thing about, I think it's the Cosmic Crisp apple.
Crisp, hell of an apple.
And how they spent billions of dollars developing this
Money
apple
well
to
spent.
take over like the honey crisp apple. They're like, this is the hot new apple.
Yeah.
I feel like it kind of came and it's like there, but no one's like, I still consider
There's
honey
not
crisp.
a line out the door.
No,
Like
definitely not a
Trader
line
Joe's
out the door.
tout. I like Cosmic Crisp. I mean, the Apple Wars. I feel like that could be a Netflix docuseries.
I'm producer.
You know what I still sometimes have a hankering for? A good old-fashioned Red Delicious. When they're good, which
seems mealy.
they're not. See, of course, you can't judge an apple by its worst form.
I mean, I feel like if you know how they'll be like at Trader Joe's, they'll put little cards. They'll be like, sweet and tart, perfect with like Gruyere. For Red Delicious, it's like a bit mealy. Just a bit mealy.
So mealy you can scoop it with a spoon. A good Red Delicious, it's kind of its own thing. It has like a bitterness in the peel, an
You know what?
astringent quality in that thick skin.
I will, on occasion, crave and grab a Granny Smith.
Oh,
And then I'm usually like, I'm like halfway through, I'm like,
Sour Sally.
bit sour Sally
Yeah.
over here.
You
It's
know-
like nature's Sour Patch Kid.
Dunk it in caramel and then we're talking. Dunk it in caramel, roll it in peanuts, which by the way, if you've ever been to a Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory or any of those iterations, like a place that has a fudgery and then also a caramel apple station, once you realize that you can cut a caramel apple into pieces and eat it that way, why would you ever go back to chomping off the stick?
See, it's interesting you say that. I had this dilemma last night.
It's not possible that you had a dilemma about eating a caramel apple last night. It is June.
No, not a caramel apple, but this scenario. I am a big fan of elote. I make elote on the cob.
You know, for those not in Los Angeles, why don't you tell them what elote is?
So elote, they have it at Trader Joe's. You can buy the spice, like everything but the
Sure,
elote.
yeah.
It's basically like Mexican street corn. And when I was introduced to it, I don't know, 20 years ago, you buy a cob of it on the street at a fair or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's it's got like either sour cream or mayonnaise on it. It's got tahini, maybe a little like cayenne. It's got cojita cheese. It's great. And I make it great. And I like to make it on the cob and eat it. It's real messy and it's sloppy, but I love it.
You're slopping on a cob just at home in bed?
Sitting on the edge of my bed.
Hunched over a
Hunched
cob?
over because I don't want it to drip.
Covered
By the way,
in mayo?
did I mention that I'm wearing, I may as well just reveal the secrets. I sweat a lot and I'm wearing like a sweat blocker under this
Okay,
shirt.
so we're all inventors. I have neck magic, you have sweat magic.
Sweat block.
Okay, so we're working on it.
So last night I was like, should I go get food? And I'm like, oh, I forgot I bought 2 ears of corn. I'll make elote. And so I'm making it. And for the first time, I was like, I don't know if I feel like chomping on this. I sliced the kernels off.
And?
Made a bowl of it. Tastes the same, Avi.
Yeah.
But like, there's something about like piercing that cob.
Yeah. It kind of takes you back to your primitive state. You become like Wolfman.
Yeah, it's very primitive. And I'm sure
Yeah.
I've mentioned this before. Both my brothers, when they eat corn, somehow make it look like a corn cob pipe. There's not one strand or string of anything. I've never seen anything like it in my life. I don't know if they still do it. When they were both children, they both would make it look like corn on the cob.
How it seems like it'd be genetic. Why can't you do it? Are your teeth not as sharp? You need
Remember,
Labubu
my
teeth.
lips were too big for the trumpet. My teeth are too, I don't know, brittle for
Soft.
corn. And this is a
Dull.
really stupid thing to go back to, but it just keeps running through my head.
Yeah.
When you're at a grocery store, even if your grocery store has been like updated,
Yes.
look around the perimeter of the ceiling.
Okay.
Because I almost guarantee all the things that say like produce
Yeah.
or butcher or vegetables still look like they're from
the 80s?
decades past. I don't feel like those get updated. And even if they do, they still have, I love it.
Yeah.
It's like something you almost never notice. But like if I'm waiting, I'll start looking around.
Love those signs.
I do too. They'll be like handwritten, not handwritten, but they'll be like in cursive or some
Yeah.
sort of like,
They're almost like carved.
yeah.
Painted, a hand painted bushel of produce. I love that. You know, like if you're doing a guided meditation, it's like close your eyes.
If I'm doing guided
If you were doing
meditation.
okay, so pretend you were somebody whose TikTok feed is not Labubus. It's somebody who's like 7 healthy ways to start your day.
I can do
So one
that.
of those things might be like a guided meditation. It'll be like close your eyes. Imagine you're somewhere that's just like so peaceful and happy. It could be like, at the edge of a stream. It could be like, your favorite room in your house, whatever. I think I could use like my childhood grocery store as like a happy place because this is everything it was. Summer, I'm barefoot every day of the month. No, my house is lawless.
Yeah.
I've said before, I'm up till 5 a.m. watching Laverne and Shirley. There's no rules.
Yeah.
I'm barefoot in the grocery store. My grocery store growing up had a drinking fountain that had the best water. And I was so excited
Crisp.
to go to the grocery store to get this. It was somehow ice cold. Like to get an ice cold drinking fountain, what the hell? Like what was going on there?
Yeah. That was such a like
Ice cold water.
dream. Because like I would say 8 out of 10 water fountains you go to, you have to get your lips really close to that nozzle. It's like just like kind
Not
of like
comfortable getting my lips close to the nozzle.
it's just like, and you've got that like big metal scoop here, and you gotta like get your lip in there, and you're just sucking out like it's just
Also,
like.
okay, let's just take a moment on drinking fountains.
Sorry, Alistair. I do have 7 pages of research. This is now a long show.
The mechanism of a drinking fountain has not changed since 1949. Like you look at black and white footage of kids lining up at the schoolyard, it's still pushing the button, hunching over, the arc of water, the lips pursed, the water dribbling in, it's passing out, it's going down the chin, down the shirt. We
You're
have
slurping it up.
not improved upon this design.
I know. It's
In
insane.
100 years.
Because some things are perfect. It's got that metal button that's kind
It's
of like curved for
perfect.
your thumb.
It's perfect.
Well, I mean, when they work, they're perfect.
I think
You would've-
there's maybe innovation that we have yet conceived.
What more do you need from it?
I
If you
don't
have
know.
if I have a nice arc,
Is it getting on the chin? If it's getting on the chin, it's not perfect.
honey, I've had so many things get on my chin. It's probably good if I get a little water on my chin.
That's probably a good transition to Labubu.
That'll clean things up. Well,
What do
there
you need
were
to say?
some random water fountains where, like, am I crazy? There were random water fountains where I had to, like, step on a pedal.
Yes.
It was like a
pedal.
go-kart. There's like a big long pedal at
There's
the bottom.
a brake for some reason.
Yeah.
Go, stop, speed up. There's a lever.
There was a
first
pedal.
gear, second gear. Water fountains are intense. Have you used a water fountain recently?
No, I don't even know. I feel like they're like payphones and like newspaper stands. Like they've gone away. Like they
They're
slowly
still
disappear.
around, but I mean, in LA, it's like unless you're in a private estate, unless you're in like a gym, like a kid's gym, it's like there's gonna be like a wadded brown paper towel in the water fountain. It's gonna be
Yeah,
like who knows what's in there, a
yeah.
tooth, like you don't want in there.
And they're usually designed for kids, so I have to you have to go pretty low to get in.
Those ones are for dogs. The ones that are on the ground,
Yeah.
that go into a bowl. Those are for dogs.
So
You
I'm
have to
not
go on.
supposed
You
to
have
be
to go
getting
on all fours.
Yeah, I'm on all fours. I'm shaking my tush. I'm just thirsty.
Lapping up that park bowl. All right, let's get into Labubu because people are really, they've been pulled over for a long time. They're going to be late for an appointment. We need to give them what they want.
All right, well, you should be able to be in work within an hour and 20 minutes.
Al is not going to like that.
All right, so let's talk about Wang. I'm going to apologize up front. This is a brand from China. I will. If I butcher a name, I apologize. I got a lot of slack on Progresso for my Italian words from my ex-Italian girlfriend,
Oh, dear.
Marsha.
Well, no offense intended.
Who I got to third base with, I think.
What do you think third base is?
I'll get beeped.
What do you think it is? Beep it. I'll just tell you if it's right or not. No.
Oh.
Third is mouth stuff.
Oh.
That's why I'm confident you did not get to third base.
Then I got to second base. All right, so let's talk about Wang Ning. So he's born in China, Central China in 1987.
Year after I was born.
2 years before Taylor Swift is born. 87, what's going on? We have Ronald Reagan making his famous declaration, tear down this wall, referring to the Berlin Wall. Music that's come out that year. You have Michael Jackson's Bad. You have U2's Joshua Tree. You have
What a time.
Prince's Sign of the Times, George Michael's Faith, all in that year.
Wow.
All in that year. 1986, you hadn't heard any of that. 1987, so much music.
Huge.
So he graduates from college with a degree in advertising in 2009. And we don't have a bunch of information about his early life because he has made it a mystery. If you ask him about it in interviews, he doesn't talk about it. I don't know what's going on with this guy, but he doesn't like to talk about his past. So we won't. That's not what this show's about.
Out of respect for him, we will not.
I did not dig enough to
on the
figure out.
subject.
I have a expose on Wang Ning. Forget Labubu. We do know that he worked for a year at a place called Cinecorp, which was a digital media company that owned Weibo, which is basically China's Twitter. But he had this strong desire to open his own company. And he goes on a trip to Hong Kong, and he's really drawn to this store called Log On. And it was a store that was kind of aimed at millennials. They sold a bunch of different stuff. They had toys and cosmetics and stationery. And he just really liked the vibe. It was like a really hip store. So he comes back, and it's now 2010, and he reaches out to some of his like college friends, and he's like, you know what? I want to start a company. I want to do a store. This place in Hong Kong was great. Let's put our money together. They're all on board. So that's the beginning of the first Pop Mart store.
Wow.
Yeah, he's only been out of college 1 year when he opens the store.
Louise, ambitious boy.
I know, these people. It's like, good God. I'm like, I need about 12 years to find myself. I'll be in bed with my elote.
I'll start a podcast someday.
Someday.
And then you're like, I just figured out a new way to eat corn.
In bed. Why are you guys all at the dinner table? I'll be in my room. So they open the store in an area that's kind of considered the Chinese Silicon Valley. And he bases it on Log On. So he's selling a bunch of different things and a bunch of different brands. And like Log On, all aimed at like a millennial clientele. But as the company moves along, he starts having growing pains. He starts to have like inventory struggles and staffing issues, and everything's not
Good help is hard to find.
I mean, it always has been, right? So he steps back from it and he kind of looks around to see what's working and what's not working. And he determines that most of the things he's selling, everything's just kind of breaking even, with the exception of toys and figures. So figurines. with the exception of toys.
Mannequins. These mannequins are flying off the shelves.
I mean, that would have been in the 80s, that movie Mannequin.
The movie Mannequin.
Remember we watched that? Kim Cattrall. Aww. You know what's so weird when I think about things like that? Kim Cattrall's in Mannequin, I don't know when, let's say 1987. That's only like 10 years before she did Sex and the City.
Oh, sure.
Like, it's not even like that long.
Did you, by the way, speaking of, and just like that.
Ooh.
Have you watched it?
My entire TikTok is Labubu and the hatred of, and just like that. I'm very forgiving.
I'm still on the first episode. I had to watch it before Al came over to watch TV because he didn't want to see even a frame of it.
Yeah.
I just got to the part where Miranda.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Miranda realized that after a night of scissoring Rosie O'Donnell, that Rosie is a nun.
Finds out that Rosie's a nun and a virgin. I don't know if she's revealed that to you yet. Okay, yeah. Rosie looks so... I love Rosie O'Donnell.
She almost seems like a hologram. She looks so different.
She looks so different. She's got a weird wig on. She looks so dowdy. She kind of looks like Roseanne Barr.
She's missing this koosh ball sparkle. And I think that's what I realized that was most recognizable about her was that Rosie sparkle.
Well, I follow her on TikTok. I don't know if you know. She has moved to Ireland because of everything going on in this country. She didn't want to be in this country anymore. Ireland. Literally, today is getting the keys to her house. I only know that because she told us all yesterday.
The internet is too... we shouldn't know when Rosie O'Donnell gets the keys to her house. That is too much information for our primitive brains.
I like knowing what Rosie's doing at all times.
The world has progressed faster than our evolution, and we cannot keep up with when Rosie O'Donnell is getting the keys to her house in Ireland. This is why we're stressed.
Well, I mean, all I was going to say is she usually has a cute, fun haircut, and she's always got great glasses. And on the show, she just looks so dowdy, but I'm glad that she was able to do it. So let's see, where was I? So he determines that the best sellers are toys and figurines. So he reduces all the inventory just down to toys. In 2014, he enrolls in the Guanhua School of Management at Peking University. Okay. Is it Peking?
Yeah.
Peking University. I was going to say Peking. Peking.
Peking.
It must be Peking because I put a line over the E.
Peking.
Peking. Peekaboo.
Your nickname in college?
I'm going to clean that up. No, that's fine. Al, keep it up. So around the same time, he becomes very fascinated with and inspired by gashapon machines. Do you know what a gashapon machine is?
Oh, a gashapon machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a machine that makes pones through the process called gasha.
This is a clean show. We don't have a pone making machine. You're close. It's basically a vending machine. It's basically like a capsule machine.
Oh, okay.
When we had a kid, you'd put a quarter in, you get a toy.
I love those.
So it's basically that. It's a toy that comes in a random capsule or a little transparent box. And he just really liked that whole surprise effect.
Same.
And this was really that spark of Pop Mart's blind boxes. And if you're not familiar, I'll tell you about it now, but Pop Mart, that's basically what their model has become, is they sell blind boxes.
Did they invent, what's the blind box? The blind box is now a term.
Yes. Do you know what a blind box is?
It's you don't know what you're getting.
It's you don't know what you're
getting.
Or
you on all fours feeling around bags, opaque bags. What's inside, sir? Stop feeling the bags. You just have to buy one randomly.
Sir, please leave. We'll get to my personal experience with blind boxes.
Is Pop Mart kind of like the king of the blind?
Now, yes.
No, okay.
Now, yes. So blind boxes, also called mystery boxes. It's basically you're getting a sealed package with a randomly distributed product inside of it. It could be a toy. It could be an electronic. It could be shoes.
Very Happy Meal.
Very happy.
You don't know what you're getting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Beautiful example. I don't even have that in there. The prices are usually fixed. So you may have a series. In that series, there's 8 blind boxes. All the blind boxes are $10.
By the way, do you have a unicorn straw from Sonic yet?
No.
Okay, the call is still out there. Nobody has taken the bait.
I mean, I'm a little bit losing interest, but not totally.
Don't tell them that. You want them to be hunting it down for you.
Well, maybe just because I haven't looked at it. Because as soon as I said that, I was like, but 2 of them do change colors, and one of them glows in the dark.
Priority is color changing.
I have had 2 listeners ask and have given our address. So I don't know if that involves a unicorn straw or not, but we'll see.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's usually a fixed price, and in the series, you don't know what figure you're getting, but you usually know like what series you're getting. So it's like, I know I'm doing like the Hello Kitty holding lollipop series. I don't know if I'm getting the blue one, red one, or what, but you know what you're getting. And for a lot of them, there'll be, let's say, 6, 8, 10 standard figures, and then maybe 1 or 2 chase figures. And you'll know what the distribution is. Let's say there's 8 standard figures. You probably have a 1 in 8 chance of getting one of those 8. But then it'll list, like for the chase figure, it's 1 in 80 or 1 in 200.
Chase.
So you're chasing after that. And that, I mean, that model alone is how these companies can make so much money, because you get a person like me. I'll just bring it up, the Wendy's toys that I bought this past Halloween, where I'm asking the cashier if I can go through all 300 of them to try to figure out what's in the blind bag.
Yeah. But it's like, it's baseball cards or that same thing where it's like, you don't know what you're going to get in your pack. There's rare ones, Pokemon cards, Magic the Gathering. There's a lot of things that have kind of utilized this in the past. And it's it's like gambling. Like, you don't know what you're going to get. I compare it
to childhood gambling here in a minute. And it's like, it's technically a game of luck. But now, I mean, there are definitely people that have learned how to cheat the system. Depending on which blind box series it is, you can get apps where, like, if you scan the box, it knows which one is inside. What I did for the Wendy's one, like, I found the standard and then I found the variant. So I looked on the package for each of those, and I found the one little thing on the packaging that was different.
Like a little QR code, whatever
the number for one was like, let's say 80, and then the other one was like ADD, and it's like not ADD, like couldn't like focus, but like ADD.
I know what you mean,
And I was like, oh, so all the variants probably have a D. You can shake the box, you can feel it to try to see if it's the shape of the figure.
Taste,
I was going to say smell, because some of them do have sense.
Oh my God.
People will try very hard to figure out what's in it, because I would too. Like, I've done it. So I've only done blind boxes that I can remember. I've done the Wendy's ones. I've done a little Pac-Man series, and there was a set of Lost figures when I was really into Lost. And literally, when I found those, they were just on clearance at Urban Outfitters, and I just sat in the back and opened them all. I literally opened them all until I got the whole set, closed the box, and just went up and bought them.
That seems like a good store to do that, because they do not give a...
They don't give a...
Have you been in Urban Outfitters lately? You will feel so instantly depressed. If you're feeling like you're a little too high, you're feeling a little too good, you're feeling young, you're feeling healthy.
What's so bad about it?
Go to an Urban Outfitters. It is every worst fashion trend from 20 years ago, 25, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
That is now $80 on a hanger, and you just feel like
max headroom shirt.
Yes, like you're surrounded by 16-year-olds that are dressing like your peers did when you were in middle school, and except you look and you're like, am I in middle school? And then you catch a glimpse in the mirror and you forgot to wear your neck magic that day.
My favorite are the videos where people, like, it'll be like their kid like that, and they're wearing like a Nirvana shirt.
Yes.
And they'll ask them, they're like, what's your favorite Nirvana song? I'm like, who's Nirvana? Like, they don't even realize they're wearing a shirt of a band, like an iconic band.
I was at Jersey Mike's yesterday.
Okay.
And the song Creep by
For the record,
Radiohead.
I also had Jersey Mike's
Did
yesterday.
you really? Which one?
Leftover Jersey Mike's.
The one by Oh, we weren't at the store. We were at the one by Magpies yesterday. The song Creep was on, Radiohead song. And there were some like 13-year-old girls there that seemed really cute. They were Urban Outfitters-y, but they were really sweet. Like, one of them complimented my daughter's little cat headband, and they were really cute. And then as they were leaving, the song Creep was on, which is kind of a funny Jersey Mike's vibe, like the soundtrack of Jersey Mike's. And they were I was like, I wonder if they know this. They were mouthing the words, and I was like, wow, isn't that interesting?
Well, Creep is one of those songs. It has been covered like so many times.
I'm sure Lana Del Rey has sung it.
Everyone on like American Idol or those singing shows, there's always like that one cool singer who does like that weird slow version of Creep.
Who was it? I can't remember who did a collaboration with Paul McCartney recently. I know like Rihanna has over the years, but like I feel like
Oh, I'm
Did
thinking
Lady
of Elton
Gaga
John.
or so they'll come out where they'll be like Lady Gaga and like Paul McCartney, and then people will be like, "Who's this old man singing with Lady Gaga or Rihanna or whoever that is?"
I know.
And that always really makes me laugh to see Paul McCartney or see his name and go like, "Who the f- is that?"
The Beatles in particular to me are
Yes.
such one of those, it's such a fascinating thing because the surviving Beatles, if you look back at old Beatles, I mean, they went through something that
Unbelievable.
a very small amount of superstars have gone
Yes.
through, like that pandemonium.
Fandom doesn't really look like that anymore. It's different.
No,
Yeah.
maybe in a little bit with like a Harry Styles, but like on such a smaller scale. Like it's
Yeah.
just like, and now they're just like old men living their lives. There's actually a Paul McCartney photography exhibit that I'd like to go
Oh,
see here in
cool.
town right now. Apparently he took pictures all the time.
Let's all go.
Let's check it out.
Cool.
All right, so the history of blind boxes just kind of quickly. So in America, we started seeing vending machines show up in like the 60s. And they were like gumball machines. And then they kind of turned into those capsule machines that we were talking
Those are really
about.
fun.
We sent those over to China in the mid 60s. So then they took that and then they didn't love that our toys in it were so cheap and they were kind of like Cracker Jack toys. So they improved upon it. Ours would have like, you
Wow,
know,
they'd be rolling over in their graves seeing Cracker Jack toys now.
oh my God. Are
As
you
we've
kidding?
talked about,
A
scan
little-
the QR code to see a picture of a donkey. It's like, what has happened?
Is there a more depressing job in the world than being one of the 8 people that comes up? But now it's probably down to 2.
Sure.
The 2
sure.
people, and they like split shifts that come
a
up with
part-time job.
Cracker
Almost.
Jack prizes.
My mom has an extensive collection of vintage, sometimes still in the package, Happy Meal toys.
Oh, I thought you were gonna. If it was Cracker
Cracker
Jacks, I
Jack
would ask
toys,
for
they
those.
might be. They were like metal when they were Cracker Jack. And
know.
you just see how the quality of like, it used to be like a toy now that you would buy for like $8.99 that
Yeah.
they would be giving away in Happy Meal. Cracker Jack toys are the same. Used to be like brass.
I know they were so nice. I know
It is, times have changed.
times have changed.
So to be disparaging of a Cracker Jack toy, wow, that really says something.
I mean, it's literally a piece of paper. You know what I used to
Yeah.
love in those capsule machines were bouncy balls. I feel like I've talked about
Yes.
this on this show,
Yes.
maybe, but like if I could get a clear, sparkly, or the swirl, there was one that had like the swirls in it, bouncy ball, that was my jam.
Boy.
I loved anything clear back in the day.
Yeah, you still are into clear. Clear with glitter, clear with swirl.
What? Oh, yeah, I'm wearing my bling string for pride.
You are. You needed a little bling today.
That's probably why I like Swatch, because they were clear. Back in the day, I liked a clear Band-Aid. 'cause
Clear phone.
Who doesn't want to see their scab? Why hide it when you can see it?
Yeah. Did you have a clear phone that you could see all the gizmos inside? Those were really fun, like a landline phone.
I still do in a box, a Swatch one. I had like a couple
Cool.
Swatch phones. I have one that's like fluorescent green and clear. I think it's clear. It's definitely fluorescent green.
Yeah, I think I had a clear purple one. We're going off topic, but I am going to get a landline. Okay, go ahead.
I still have a landline, but I've taken a phone out because it's like, I would be interested to see. I have like 15 years of voicemails on there.
Play them on the off
We should play-
brand.
they're
Play
probably-
it on the Patreon.
What if there's someone, what if a long lost love was trying to get me
Maybe.
and they only had my landline?
Maybe, yeah. Dawn, I've been calling you for days. This will be my last call. Return to me. Sincerely, Marco.
Marco.
It was so long ago that people signed voicemails like they were letters.
All right. Okay, so like I was saying, in Japan, they take those capsule machines, they make the items that you're getting a little better than we're doing here. But then in the 1980s, what started to happen was in department stores, and I'm going to mess this one up, they started creating what is called Fukubukuro.
What?
Fukubukuro. Fukubukuro.
Okay.
Fukubukuro.
You just said
Fukubukuro.
it so scared.
I am scared
You
because I
said it
didn't
like there
put
was
the
a gun in your back.
Fukubukuro. It's like a Babadook.
Yeah, Babadook. Are you afraid it's going to appear if you say it?
Also known as lucky bags, which is
Okay,
a little
lucky
easier to
bags.
deal with. We'll just
Sure.
call them lucky bags.
Lucky
And
bags.
basically what that was, you would go into the department store, you could buy a sealed bag, and in it would either be like leftover inventory or like excess stuff that they had, or it might be a new thing they're trying to promote, but you didn't know what you were buying.
That's fun.
Yeah. So that was basically the beginning kind of this whole like blind.
You should auction off lucky bags from your storage unit.
Oh my God. I actually
You could.
I could fill like the Trader Joe's insulated coolers.
Oh my God.
Maybe I'll make a lucky bag.
Yeah, in like one winner. Share this post with 5 friends to be entered into the lucky bag.
Like and follow. Share with 5 friends. And then, you know, the idea of like lucky packaging or blind packaging kind of goes around the world. Like things you were saying, it's baseball cards. It's Disney now with their like enameled pens. They probably make billions and billions of dollars. I watch a lot of unboxing things now that I think about it.
Yeah, they know what you like.
Like these people that buy these pens, it's like some of these things I'm so glad I'm not into, because if I'm such a like, you know,
You're
loyal person and completionist, like
Yes.
these pens are like $15-$20 a pen. And someone will buy like 10 of them. So they drop $150. They open them. 3 of them are the same. I'm like, well, that's okay. We'll get them all eventually. And I'm like, you just spent $150 and didn't even get what you're like going for.
The amount of like extra funds you have to have every month to support a habit like that. You'd think it would be like only Jeff Bezos could support a habit like this.
I think some people are lucky enough to be able to pay for it through their like earnings on social media.
Sure. I mean, just even having that level of interest in Disney or Disneyland in general, you're going to need a second job because everything is just so expensive.
Yeah.
It's cost a lot of money to be a Disney adult.
Oh my God. We're happy for you if you are one. I'm happy.
Well, I'm happy for you because you're rich.
Yeah. I'm happy that I'm not one. Even like Kinder Eggs. Like, have you ever had a Kinder Egg? That's also kind of like a blind experience.
No, we go through a lot of Kinder Eggs.
Do you?
Yeah. My son doesn't even like the candy.
I love it. Save it for me. That cream with those 2 crunchy balls.
He likes the cream okay. He doesn't like the balls.
Give me the...
You're going to split a Kinder Egg.
Give me your son's 2 balls. I'll crunch on them.
You're on the record saying that.
They're good. Have you eaten the balls?
They are good. Occasionally I'll get his
It's like a light
balls.
Little like
It's almost
cookie.
like a Ferrero Rocher a little bit.
Yeah, like that wafery, crispy crunch.
It's really good.
Yeah. All right, so Ning, he wanted to take this whole concept of blind boxing and take it to the next level. So he wanted to have like premium packaging. He wanted to reach out and did reach out to artists to create the toys that would be in the boxes. And one of the most prominent that he reached out to was a Hong Kong artist named Kenny Wang. And in 2006, Wang had created this character that he was inspired by seeing this child. It's, according to him, seeing this child. It doesn't say girl or boy, even though the character is a girl. But every time I read about it, it just said child.
Okay.
That he encountered at a charity fundraiser event. So he creates this character based on them, and they have like a round head, these huge blue eyes, these really pouty lips, would usually wear a beret, and he named this character Molly. In 2016, Pop Mart and Kenny Wang make a collab. I'm sorry, Angela, I think it's Angela that hates it whenever we say collab.
I think so.
And they begin...
We should issue out an Angela's edition where we bleep out collab. And that will also appear in the feed.
One word gets beeped out in the whole episode.
And it might not even be, if we don't say it, it's not beeped.
Yeah.
But it still comes out as Angela's edition.
We'll just throw in a random beep in the show. So Pop Mart and Kenny Wang, they do a collab with Molly, and this is Pop Mart's first blind box series.
Cool.
And at this point, Molly's already popular. So the blind box format just adds surprise and collectability to her, and her popularity just soars. Today, she's evolved into... She's actually... Labubu is who we'll get to is the most popular character here in America for Pop Mart, but Molly in China is the most popular one there.
Wow.
Because she was the one that kind of started it all there. And today she's involved. There's like hundreds and hundreds of different versions of her, like outfits, and if you have a Pop Mart, go check it out. I went and looked at them in the store. They are very cool looking. Yeah. Like they're very imaginative, and there's a space one, and there's collabs, sorry. There's collab ones with like Coca-Cola and like random collabs. Like she'll just be wearing like a weird suit with like the Coca-Cola like...
Does the store look like very like stimulating? I'm wondering if I walked by it in the mall. Like, do you walk by and you're like, oh my God, what's going on in there?
It's just, I mean, it's what you would expect. It's bright, and there's a million toys on display.
Yeah, I think.
And then kind of below those, if they're available, the boxes are there to like pick up and buy. But like every toy is out of the box so you can see it.
That's fun.
Yeah. So then Molly just becomes this whole symbol of creativity and individuality. And she's really a big part of the reason Pop Mart becomes so successful in the beginning. In 2017, only a year after they've done this initial blind box collab, their annual revenues hit $22 million. 1 year later, they jumped to $73 million. So it's like 3 or 4 times. I mean,
crazy.
If you look at the chart of Pop Mart's revenue every year, you would die. You would die. And how like it just skyrockets over the last like 10 years.
Yeah.
All right. So we're at 2018 at Pop Mart. They're making $73 million a year. I want to go back to 2015 really quickly and talk about a guy named Kasing Lung. So he is also a Hong Kong artist and an illustrator, and he created an original story called The Monsters. And the story draws from Lung's childhood in the Netherlands, and it was heavily influenced by Nordic folklore and mythology that he enjoyed when he was a kid. And basically his story is full of all these playful characters. Sometimes they're referred to as elves and not monsters. They live in a Nordic forest and they're these curious creatures. And they tell stories of like friendship and adventure and like heartwarming mischief. And even though they're monsters, they're not, he wants it to be known that they're not evil or scary. They're just mischievous. You know, they're kind of like, they have like a, you know, a little wink to them. And then this story that he created would become a series of 3 picture books. And in there you have a bunch of different monsters. You've got Zimomo, which is the leader. You've got Taikoko, which is a skeleton-looking one. Mokoko, which is like just this sweet little character. Spooky, who they just describe as spooky. And then, of course, you have Labubu. And they all have these fun names who his daughter picks out the names for him, which I thought was super cute.
Love that.
One of them is named...
Hope she got a hefty royalty.
This guy, we'll get to it. He is, let's just say, he could afford all the blind boxes.
Wow.
So Labubu is this small monster with high pointed ears. Have you ever seen a picture of Labubu?
Yeah, I think it's almost what I think I thought it was like Where the Wild Things Are.
Yes.
Yes.
I feel like it looks like that too.
Yes.
Doesn't have, I don't think it has like that hatchy, scratchy
but the
drawing.
Similar face,
It's like
similar
the big mouth.
mouth.
It's like a round head,
furry
teeth.
Yeah, very Maurice Sendak.
I tend to agree with you. She's got pointed ears. She's got 9 very pointy teeth. She doesn't have a tail. Some of them have tails. She's playful. She has a kind heart.
That's cute.
Apparently she's a female, but I did read an interview where Lung referred to Labubu as a he, so
okay.
I don't know.
Interesting.
I'm sure.
Non-binary. Non-conforming.
All right, so it's 2015. So over at Pop Mart, we have Ning looking around for artists and trying to get that going. And then we've got Lung, who created Labubu and the Monsters. He starts working with a company called How to Work, and they create the first Monsters figures. And these are just vinyl figures, and they're taking them to toy expos and cons and things like that. And they're doing really well. And that relationship lasts for several years. And now we're going to bounce back to 2019. So Pop Mart is now riding high on the success of Molly and all the other figures that they've created. They have a bunch of different lines now that they've made with different artists. And Ming has this whole vision of becoming a global leader in entertainment and pop culture. So he's got like dreams of like movie franchises and books and just like music and all the things that you could do just to become in that space. He starts hosting his own toy shows in Beijing, mostly to find more artists that he can bring in to make these toys. He would get dozens of people to end up working with him, and he tried really hard to like stay out of their way. He wanted artists to be creative. He wanted them to have, you know, the freedom to do what they want. He would chime in and let them know what he knew to be like the current trends in the toy world. Like he kept his like finger on that pulse, but like he really wanted them to do what they wanted. In the store, he was very, very hands-on. Like apparently he was like meticulous about details. If you look at the stores online, they're all different. He was like worry about like the height of every shelf. He would worry about the wattage of the light bulbs. It's like that kind of like how he has a lot of toys that he needs to show off. Like what's the coolest way that we can do that? I feel like ours here at Glendale is kind of like small.
Really?
Yeah. From some of the pictures I've seen, some of them look really cool.
Like a giant.
Yeah, it's like when you see Starbucks, and there's like some of those Starbucks are like Starbucks Reserve, and it literally looks like a Willy Wonka chocolate factory, and they're making
coffee,
and then mine looks like just like a box.
Don't you hate when you're looking for a Starbucks and you find one near you, and then it ends up being in a hospital?
You know what I hate more than that? This happened to me last week. I was looking for a Habit Burger, and then there was one that was close to me, and I realized it was at Universal Studios.
So you bought a ticket.
So I spent $20 on parking, went and got a hamburger.
Did you ever get a 2-for-1 Habit Burger?
I did, and what I learned is Habit Burgers, they're not great the next day, even when you get it plain. Jersey Mike's, get a plain Italian sub, great the next day.
Yeah, no condiments.
No condiments.
That was the trick. We did that. We were at Jersey Mike's yesterday. We ate Jersey Mike's, and then my daughter had a field trip today to the zoo. She wanted Jersey Mike's because you need a paper sack lunch. Wanted Jersey Mike's for today. I said, you know what the trick is? John taught me, hold the mustard. And then we mustarded it at home this morning.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I'll get the juice to go. They'll give you a little thing of like
Never heard of that.
the olive oil and vinegar. They already have it made and wrapped in like in saran wrap.
It's in like a little like condiment cup.
Yeah.
Oh, how fun!
Because I like that juice.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Give me a dozen juices to go.
Give me a bunch of juice.
That's great. Only you would ask.
It can't only be me because they already have them pre-made. They're not like, in case John comes in, let's have 10 of these on hand.
Those 10 have been sitting there since 2016.
All right. So, and at this point, Pop Mart is still only in mainland China. They have like e-commerce and there's third parties selling their stuff, but their stores are only located in China. And he really wants to go international. But he knows doing that, like he's not going to be able to just copy the stores that he has in China and put them in America, put them in New Zealand, put them wherever. He kind of is going to have to tailor them to that area. He has plans to expand in Asia and Europe and America, and he needs to figure out what each of them wants. But he does know that he wants to get in the Labubu business. So he does work out a deal with Wang and gains exclusive licensing rights to Labubu to create Labubu merchandise in 2019. And in that same year, they released their first blind boxes. And those combined with all the other figures that they have, that year brings in $240 million in revenue. The year before, it was only 73.
Happening?
It's like every year it goes up like 3 times. I'm gonna hit a figure here in a minute. Literally, I'm not even kidding everybody. Yeah. I know you're hopefully still pulled over for this whole show. If you don't pull over, we are not responsible.
This is just, the culture has changed. So I was reading when we were in an Airbnb in Oklahoma, they had this book that I liked so much I want to buy it. It was about like thriftiness over the years and with these like kind of fun anecdotes about like basically people who were alive during like the Great Depression or had economic hardship different times in American history and like what they did basically to pinch pennies. They would talk. So you're talking about this toy, this $40 toy that like is earning this company millions of dollars. The most popular toy, because kids were making dolls out of like corn cobs or like, two sticks tied together with an old piece of string. The prized toy that you would be like the luckiest kid on the earth that you would get, they called it a salt baby. So this was your family would get a bag of salt and you would tie a string around like a third of the way down to make a little head. You could draw on a face. You could put like your little sister's dress on it and like stuff the legs or the arms like of the clothes like to make it look like it had real arms and legs. And it had like the weight and feel.
Real.
It was floppy. It was floppy like a real baby and kind of heavy like a real baby. And that was like and then you eat the salt. Like so it's like useful. If your family had a salt baby, you were like...
I have never, ever heard of a salt baby.
You were the fanciest kid on the block. How much things have changed. If you took the salt baby kid and gave him a Labubu, they'd crap their pants. What a world.
What a world we live in.
What a world. God, I love it. I need to find the name of this book. It was like such a funny, like, it seemed just like a weird vintage old book, and I've delighted so much in all the stories.
A salt baby sounds so heavy. That's like 5-pound baby. That's like
didn't
they used to
a real baby doll?
Isn't that what didn't they used to give kids like
a sack of flour
to like make like was that to prepare them to be mothers?
I think that's one of those things that I like. Was that a real thing that happened, or was that just like an episode of Charles in Charge?
It might have been Charles in Charge.
It's that week in school where we have to carry around our sack of flour and like take care of it. But it's like a sack of flour you could like just stuff in your backpack for like 2 weeks. It doesn't need anything. Like what is it?
That's
teaching
what you do with your kids.
Exactly, stuff them in my backpack.
There was also the egg. Like you had to like take care of an egg.
The egg has stakes though. Like the egg can break,
Yeah.
but you could also just stick it in the fridge
or the locker. I mean, it also could. It's like what's gonna happen? You don't have an egg crusher in your locker. Put it on the top shelf.
Crying out for milkies.
Put it on your trapper keeper.
Sure. If you had a salt baby or raised an egg or a bag of flour, we would love to hear from you.
Okay, so they're making all this money, and they have really, by this point, mastered the whole concept of blind boxes and getting people to be loyal to like this collector mentality. And it's like every part of the experience is supposed to kind of build on that anticipation for it, like figuring out what series you want, choosing the box that you want, buying it and opening it. I don't know if back then people were doing open box videos like they are now, but that is now definitely a huge part of it. People literally won't even look at like what is in it until they open it up and show it to the camera first. And they're like so anxious to like and excited to see which one they got. Wow. It is like such a rush for these people.
Well, we are still hunter-gatherers.
What?
The culture has progressed faster than our wiring. At our core, we are hunched in the tall grass, seeking out a buffalo to shoot or an elk to feed our family. We are wired for the thrill of the hunt, Jon. Do you see this? That we're wired for the thrill of the hunt.
You got there. At the end, I was like, okay. Now I was like, what the freak is she talking about? Then I started thinking of Lyme disease, because anytime I hear tall grass, I'm worried I'm going to get Lyme disease.
That's why it's so exciting.
Yes, it is very exciting.
You don't see a ladybug getting excited for a blind box.
And apparently ladybugs, can we talk about those for 30 seconds? Because I don't want to go even
is
longer.
Already quite long.
Is it?
An hour 5.
Okay, we'll get done.
Okay.
Apparently there's like two, I mean, I'm sure there's a million kind of ladybugs, but there's one that's a cute ladybug that does nothing and one that's pure evil and poisonous.
What do you mean?
Like they look similar. They just have different markings. So I can't go into it because I don't have the research, but look into that. All right, Pop Mart.
EvilLadybugs.com.
Yeah.
Look it up on your own time.
All right, so now 2022 through today, let's just go through Pop Mart. I do love that it's like a new brand.
Yeah, that's fun.
Even though I did get to dip back into the 60s.
You wouldn't be you if you didn't.
I know. So 2022, Pop Mart starts expanding internationally. In 2020, that same year, they opened their first shop in America. It's a pop-up shop down in South Coast Plaza, which is about 45 minutes from us.
That's where we would go to buy like prom dresses.
That's where I used to go to get my swatches polished, but they closed the swatch shop.
You with a suitcase of 200 swatches saying you offer free polishing today.
100%. And they would put free batteries on all of them. And they loved it when they came. At least that's what they told me. They're like, there's like a handful of collectors like me. They love it because they get to see all these old like 80 swatches that they would never get to see. 2023, they opened their first permanent store at the American Dream Mall in New Jersey.
That's fun. And
then they start selling Labubu plush toys on key rings. And these were different than what they were selling.
Oh, this is a different thing.
Up until now, we've only been selling like a vinyl figure, a small vinyl figure.
Not fuzzy?
Now,
okay,
we're fuzzy.
Wow.
So this is when they start selling. It's a combination of a plushie and a vinyl figure. This is when they start getting all Monchi-Chi.
Yes.
Because Monchi-Chi, I believe, was the same thing. It's like a fuzzy body with like
plastic face.
Vinyl face.
Yes.
And the faces can be really expressive where you can't do that with a plushie. It's just like,
2 button eyes.
2 button eyes and like a stitched nose. But now you can really get like beautiful expressions on their faces.
Yeah. Far cry from the Salt Baby of years past. You'd use a burnt end of a match to draw on 2 crude eyes and a sloppy smile.
You know who would sell just a bag of salt and get like a ton of money for it?
Who?
Supreme. Remember Supreme?
Yeah.
When we first started doing the show, I was like, I'm going to do Supreme. And now I don't think Supreme is relevant. I haven't looked into it, but I don't feel like I hear anyone talk about it. But they used to sell you'd buy like a brick that would say Supreme on it. It'd be like $800 and people would lay down
It's a scam. We deserve a Great Depression. I mean, it's just insane. The fact that anybody is buying any of this bullshit, we deserve it.
So these new...
We have no one to blame but ourselves.
Plush/vinyl figures hit the scene. Fans love them. You don't have to use them for a keychain. You can hang them on your backpack, clip it on your belt, put it in your hang it from
on your nose ring.
I love it.
I'm sure somebody's done that.
I'm sure someone's done that.
People still getting their belly buttons pierced.
Yes. Did you finish your coffee? Because I feel like you're getting a little cuckoo. Yes, of course they are. And their lips and noses and everything.
Okay, I feel like I haven't seen a belly. Not that I run in the type of circles of my friends are like, I'm gonna get my belly button pierced.
I feel like I haven't seen a belly button
None of
pierced
my
in a while.
friends have like mentioned getting their belly buttons pierced in like 20 years. Are people still doing it?
My friend Christine and I, who I've mentioned many times on the show, many years ago, met at Coffee Bean because we used to get the occasional ice blended,
Fun.
precursor to the Frappuccino,
Sure.
and talk about how we wanted to get our nipples pierced.
Hey, anything for the Patreon, baby.
And thank God we did not. So people are clipping these things on everywhere. Then, of course, it becomes like this whimsical fashion accessory.
Sure.
Then you start seeing people's ITs in the open. Rihanna's wearing them. Kim Kardashian and the celebrities get on board with them. They start clipping them onto their Birkin bags and their high fashion totes.
Sure.
I was thinking if these came out during the times of Sex and the City, I guarantee Samantha would have had a Labubu clipped on something. Or maybe
Sure.
Carrie. But
Carrie, maybe Carrie with a little pink Labubu.
maybe Carrie with a pink Labubu.
On a Birkin.
Yeah.
Sure.
So they're just, starting to spread. But then, as I said in the open, this one event literally changed everything. Lisa, do you know the K-pop band Blackpink?
Yes, Lisa was in White Lotus.
Okay.
So that's how I know.
Okay, so
Lisa is.
Lisa, who was in White Lotus and Blackpink, has 100 million followers on social
It's so
media.
funny watching White Lotus. You know how you can tell when you're like, who is that? Like, because it's not an actor.
Yeah,
like
but
it's
you know that they're
clearly-
somewhere.
Yes, like we watched what was that movie? The Josh Hartnett movie, the M. Night Shyamalan movie.
With the trees did
No,
it.
the one where he was stuck in the concert.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking
We
about.
were like, who is that daughter? Because she's not.
And it was M. Night
Shyamalan's daughter.
Yeah.
So Lisa was like, she's a fantastic actor, and there wasn't a moment where you're like, is she like a K-pop star or something? And then we looked it up, and she was like, oh my god, she's in Blackpink, which is apparently a very famous band.
I call them a group.
I only know about famous Salt Babies.
I'm the Salt
This is
Baby
how
heir.
far my finger is from the pulse.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Well, Lisa does this post of her hugging a Labubu and then several posts of her with them clipped on her bag and stuff. And I am not even kidding when I say people lost their
Rake the
minds.
internet.
It broke the world.
Wow.
Like they couldn't get these things fast enough. I don't think they could
Crazy.
make them as fast as they were selling them. All of a sudden, people are waiting in line for hours to get this thing.
Wow. Meanwhile, a Monchichi sits at like the bottom barrel of a garage sale.
You get that thing for like, you talk them down to 50 cents and they'll throw in like a bag of matchbooks.
Was a Monchichi the one that could clip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And ironically, I believe Pop Mart sells a line of Machichis at their store as well.
Great. $89.99.
Exactly.
And you can't even empty it to season your soups.
You
Like
what?
a Salt Baby.
Oh my God, the Salt Baby. It is now to the point, and I'm not even kidding, you can't go to Pop Mart
Yeah.
and buy a Labubu.
Why?
Because they're not in stock. And I've done this over the last week just to be part of the experience.
Yeah.
You have to follow your Pop Mart store on Instagram, get alerts from their story. A few times a week, you'll get a pop-up that says, we have them in stock right now. You have to go in, buy it online, then get a number, and then go pick it up in the store. Every time I got that alert and clicked on it, it was already sold out before I could even get to the website.
I'm sure people have like cyber bots to like auto buy.
Definitely have bots helping them buy it. This is the statistic that I have been so excited to share.
Okay. It better not be how many Labubus lined end to end to go around the earth. How many times?
Do you know how many Labubus it would take? In April of this year, Pop Mart, their app, hit #1 on the Apple Store.
Okay.
It shot up their stocks so much that in one day, Wang Ning earned $1.6 billion.
Just
Billion.
from Labubu.
$1 day.
That is unbelievable.
He is now worth $16.1 billion.
I can't think of a single instance where it was one product.
Me neither. And of course, they have other products, and those are bringing in money. But it is Labubu is like...
Well, everything moves so fast that even like Beanie Baby at its peak, whatever kind of craze, trends with social media, they can ignite and like that post, whatever, from Lisa, like the timeline of that was probably in 1 hour. It was beyond viral. Like everything is just so condensed. So of course it's one day. Whereas another product in 1995, it would have been like, oh, in that year, $1 billion. No, it's like one day now.
One day. I think they said like, I thought I had put it down and maybe it's in my notes somewhere and I just haven't gotten to it. I think like they said that her one post like increased sales like 30% like that afternoon or something.
So
like
weird.
That. And when sales are already that high, it's just like so insane. So that's why like this is all, that's what's kind of fun about the story is this is all happening right now. Like her post was only a year ago. This
Very
$1 billion day was like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
They can't keep things in store. They now have like 2,500, they call them robo shops, which are basically vending machines. Those will get stocked up. And then you'll see videos of people like scalpers waiting for those to get stocked up. And then they'll buy everyone in it. And there's a whole line of people that are just standing there watching.
Murdering the man who fills the vending machine.
Basically clubbing him.
Clubbing him to steal the box. Yeah. This is...
It's insane. There's something, I don't know, there's something, as you everyone know, I'm a very bad flipper. Go ask my Arnold Schwarzenegger book. I buy things with the intention to flip and then just put them in the storage unit. There's something about watching scalpers in the real world, like doing their thing and just buying all the things. It just feels kind of like, ugh.
Well, if like a kid on Christmas morning really wants a Labubu short, that's one thing, go wait in line to get it to make a kid's dream come true.
Of course.
But some disgusting scumbag just trying to make a profit, unless he's using the profit to buy a Christmas present for his son. Okay, as long as they're using the profit, the scalper's using the profit to buy a Christmas present.
As long as that present is a bag of salt.
I need to see some pictures of salt babies. Send us pictures of your salt babies.
All right. Well, while you're doing that,
That's how we'll find out who our oldest listener is, by the way. They're like, I don't know what Labubu is. I didn't know what Monchichi was. But as soon as you said salt baby, my ears perked up and I had to pull over.
Steve's going to send a picture of his shelf of like his children's 3 salt babies.
He's going to go, oh man, I'm too old for salt babies. Like he even predates salt babies.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, to wrap it up, Pop Mart now does collabs, not only with like all these cool artists, but they do like Disney collabs and Peanuts and Universal with the Minions and Harry Potter. Obviously, Molly and Labubu has had an astronomical impact on them. There's now more than 530 stores around the world, almost 2,500 robo shops. Last year, their revenue was $1.8 billion. Their market capital, oh my gosh, this is another statistic that I just don't even really understand. Their market capital, which is the value of their company, is $34 billion, which is more than Mattel, Hasbro, and Sanrio, the Hello Kitty company, combined.
It's unbelievable because, like, once everybody who wants a Labubu has one,
they'll make different series. But that's the thing. You just keep... And everyone has to buy... To get the 7 you want, because the Chase figures are 1 in 72. So to get those... Here's one thing I forgot that I would do if I was a blind box person. I am glad they do this. If you want to get them all, instead of buying individual blind boxes, you can buy a box of 6 and you're guaranteed to have no repeats. So you'll either get all 6 of the standard or you'll get 5 of the standard and a Chase.
Okay.
So I like that option exists.
You're getting a variety pack.
And you're more than likely are getting the bulk of what you want.
Yes.
That's what I have on Labubu. I do have a couple of fun facts I wanted to share. In 2023, they opened Popland, which is basically a Pop Mart amusement park in Beijing, which I didn't know existed. 40,000 square feet.
Wow.
Looks very cool. And then I teased this a little earlier. If you have decided because of the show, I know people did it with gummy clusters and we are influencers, and you hear these shows and then you go to work and you're like, maybe I do want a Labubu. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to treat myself to one. If you can't find one in the store and you have to go third party, just make sure that you go somewhere reputable.
Okay.
Because they're For as many Labubus there are,
I'm sure.
there are now as many Lafufus, which have become their own thing. And a Lafufu is a bootleg Labubu. And
that's
I have watched
really funny.
unboxings of Lafufus because like someone will buy it at like a whatever, like a flea market or a con or something and be like, I got a Labubu. And then they start opening, they're like, this doesn't feel, because I will say they also, I think something that Pop Mart does without me even having personally opened one, something that I think they have nailed is like that whole like Apple experience of like the joy of opening the package.
Yeah.
The rip tab I think is very satisfying. The feel of their cardstock and the bag inside and that.
Everything was very thoughtful.
Everything is like gives you that rush. And so then people start to open these Lafufus and they're like, this doesn't feel like it rips like halfway through. They're like, this doesn't.
It's in a Ziploc bag.
I'm not even kidding. Some of them will be. And it'll just say Labubu or Pop Mart on it.
That is so funny. That reminds me in the flea market when I got a
Oh my God. I think there's people.
bag. Instead of Kate Spade, it was Cade Spade. From the flea market when I was in like 8th grade. And I think I knew it was fake and I kind of like got a kick out of it, ironically.
Yeah, I think there are now people that probably collect Lafufus. Because they'll just take another doll and just put like fur around it. And like it is so funny looking at the Lafufus.
Monchichi, here's your chance.
Yeah.
This is a Monchichi.
Monchichi. So that's it, all positive. There are a few people that are concerned that with the whole blind box experience that like it does get people addicted and like people are buying dozens of these things trying to get what they want. That's really the only...
Suze Orman, the financial expert.
How the hell does she fit into it?
Best-selling author on many books about money management.
I love her. I always wanted a personal consultation with her.
I don't think she would be a fan of Labubu.
She would hate Labubu.
I think if you are at all, I think you need to have a lot of money in your 401k, in your savings invested to be able to have Labubu money. If you're craving that rush, I don't blame you. It's biological. We are hunter-gatherers at our core. I say fill up your quiver and hit the prairie. If you're craving a rush, get into a hunting. Something that's hunting with a bow and arrow.
That's where you're sending them to go hunt?
I'm just saying.
That's how you're wrapping up this?
There's an innate primitive urge within all of us to hunt for a prize. And I think maybe there is a more cost-effective way to satisfy that urge. Maybe get into foraging. Look for mushrooms.
Find your own passion. And if it's Labubu, that's fine. If you have a Labubu, share it with us. Send us pictures on our social media or in our Discord. We would love to see them.
Okay, great.
All right. Well, that's what I have on Labubu. Before we go, I'd love to do our shout outs for our Freaks of the Week this week. If you're not familiar with how to become Freak of the Week, every Wednesday I post on our Instagram story an Insta egg, which is basically just a puzzle that you can solve to figure out what our brand is going to be that week. If you solve the puzzle, not only will you get a cute little freak badge that I'll send you personally, you will also get your name added to our Wheel of Freaks. I spin that wheel 5 times and pick 5 Freaks of the Week. And that's who these people are right now. This was for the Pottery Barn Insta Egg, which was a very simple one, just a picture of some pottery in a barn. And these are the people that are Freaks of the Week this week. We have Julia Cliff. We have Katie Hollanian. We have Cassie, we have Catherine, and we have Brian Koval. So thank you guys for playing the Insta Egg. Congratulations on being our Freaks of the Week. Be sure to play the egg next week if you haven't and get your chance to be one of our Freaks of the Week. And also check out our Instagram main feed. Every week we post supplemental material. I'm sure in this one we'll have a picture of a salt baby that you can see. That just gives you visuals of the stuff we talked about in our episodes. And lastly, I'm going to say, if you have not joined our Patreon and you don't know what Patreon is, feel free to check that out. Even it is a whole other podcast that we do called Off Brand, where you learn more about us, more about the brands we talk about. We address a lot of like listener questions and comments and thoughts. It's a lot of fun, and we have a Discord that you can join to listen to us. And even if you don't want to do that, join the Patreon just to support us. It helps us out a lot, and we really appreciate it.
And while we're giving shout-outs, I'd like to give some shout-outs to some lovely listeners who left us 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. So funny yet informative, says Heather. That's how she signed it, but it was not her Apple username. I won't ask any further questions. Anyway, she said she's listened to every episode since we started. Wow, 2 years already. Can you believe it? She says that our show has helped her both at trivia and her job by learning some fun facts. She's laughed out loud listening on Thursdays and loves the Insta Eggs too. So please play those Insta Eggs if you haven't done that already. Be like Heather. Noxka says the best weekly hang podcast. Absolutely love the pod. We have a fun dynamic. Our energy is infectious. Positivity, laughs, interesting histories. And the Patreon is great fun too. Check out the Patreon. And if you didn't know, we're also on YouTube. So you've already listened to the show. Maybe you want to watch the show next week. Check us out on YouTube. We have full video of what you just listened to. Maybe you want to see John's sweat blocker.
I was about to say, you can see what my sweat blocker looks like. It really did a good job. It is soaking wet.
Heather gray is a risky color for a
I know,
sweater.
that's why I had to use it.
Thank you so much for those lovely comments. And if you haven't left us a review on Apple Podcasts, please do that. It helps us out. Tell your friends. We love doing the show, and we would love to reach as wide of an audience as possible.
I love that one review you just said, he was talking about our positivity, and early in their show, you were like, we deserve a Great Depression.
I mean, the evidence is there.
Oh, boy.
And with that, we'll be back next week with an all-new episode.
And remember, we may go off topic. Obviously, we go off topic, but we will always be on brand.
Bye.
Bye.